Excellent fullback, the guy who just never seemed to stop going up and down the pitch for Milan, Cafu, presented to his former fans. Probably one of the most extraordinary fullbacks I've ever watched in terms of his ability to one moment be at the back and the next be up front. Anyway, that's for another day. Let's look at the team of today, shall we? And 3 changes for the hosts following their Thursday night exploits in the Europa League. Bilya coming into that holding midfield position. Kalinic back up front leading the line, and Rodriguez, the attacking left wing back for Milan down the left hand side. Roma making 4 changes. Fazio coming in at centre half. De Rossi and Strootman both came on as substitutes against Qarabag in the UEFA Champions League. They start, and Florenzi came on as well as Roma started to really make sure that they saw home that 2-1 advantage. Well, both these teams know that this is a game that they can ill afford to lose, and yet in many ways it's almost impossible to call. Don Hutchison alongside me, former Premier League midfielder. It's one of those matches where you just don't want to stick your neck out and say who's the favourites.
No, because they're 2 quality sides in an iconic stadium as well in the San Siro. It makes for an unbelievable atmosphere. But both sides have got so much quality. I love the look of Roma's midfield. Radja Nainggolan, massive fan of. I think De Rossi and Strootman are excellent technicians. It's an attacking lineup from both sides, which should make for an entertaining game.
Well, there's no reason to think that it won't be. And with Juventus 6 from 6, they play tonight at Atalanta, and Napoli 7 from 7, leading the way at the top of the Serie A table. It sounds silly to say it, but even at this stage, you can ill afford to drop too many points. AC Milan have already done exactly that. They've lost twice. In charge today is Luca Banti, an experienced top division official, and the 2 captains. Well, it tells you that this is an occasion. Bonucci, of course, having signed from Juventus in the summer, and De Rossi, who, to be fair, is now Mr. Roma, with Francesco Totti having decided to hang up his boots in the summer. And indeed, he's here today, the great man, and I'm sure we'll get plenty shots of him in the stand. Eusebio Di Francesco in his first season at the helm for Roma. He took over, of course, from Luciano Spalletti, who, of course, now manages in this stadium for Inter Milan. Inter, who were 2-1 winners at Benevento in our live action earlier on this afternoon. And Vincenzo Montella, well, he did sign a new contract within a few months of the new owners taking to the helm back in the spring, but already there is talk that his position may be under scrutiny because they've won 4 and lost 2. If they should be win 4, lost 3 by the end of today, then just you hear how often the name Carlo Ancelotti starts to ring around the city of Milan. Of course, having just been ousted from his position at Bayern Munich, and all too familiar with the setting here. It's a bizarre business, football, isn't it, that we should even be talking about a man in game number 7 being under pressure. But it's not me, believe me. It's the Italian press who are whipping up the tails. And that is the reason that, having spent so much money and finding themselves already with 2 defeats against their name, that is why he is under such scrutiny. So it is the visitors in their change colours, the white shirts, Roma, who get events underway. Alongside me is Don Hutchison, and it's just one of those games, isn't it, Don, where you just get an excitement, a buzz, even before the ball was even kicked off.
Yeah, there's certain fixtures around Europe you really look forward to. This is certainly one of them. As I said before, AC Milan against Roma in an iconic stadium like the San Siro, and a lot of quality players on show. It must make for an entertaining game. Imagine it might be a little bit of a chess match early, and then both sides will feel their way into the game.
Roma started extraordinarily well at Qarabag in the UEFA Champions League in midweek. They were ahead very, very quickly. They doubled their advantage soon after. And it looked like they were going to deal out a real punishing to the champions of Azerbaijan on their first ever home match in the UEFA Champions League group stage. But to be fair to Karabag, they made it a little bit tougher than Roma were hoping for. And the man who scored the opening goal, Manolas, has taken an early buffeting here.
Yes, Kalinic just shoves him to the floor. I think they'll be absolutely fine. It's going to be that sort of game.
Roma like to drive forward whenever they can. Milan like to do the same. And with El Shaarawy starting again, supporting Edin Dzeko. Komarov will inevitably make strides down the left-hand side as often as he possibly can. Bruno Perez down the right.
Yeah, it's a part of Roma's game plan. The two fullbacks will try and play high up the pitch as they can, trying to create a little bit of width.
A lot of the AC Milan supporters will be looking at this man, Andre Silva. It's only his second start in Serie A. He was the big money signing, or the biggest one really, in the summer. And he joined from Porto for the best part of 40 million euros. He's a dynamic striker and he does his best to take the headlines away from Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't succeed, I have to say, but he does his best. He has a great scoring record for country and previously for Porto.
He's a real player, isn't he? Andre Silva, every time he gets the ball he makes things happen. He's extremely positive.
De Rossi doesn't normally stay down. So it's the way in which he himself goes in for the challenge on Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah, he went in a little bit double-footed there, Çalhanoğlu. A little bit dangerous on De Rossi.
And I said we'd get plenty of shots of him. Francesco Totti, just a glorious career, a one-club man. How often do we say that about anyone? But to be able to say it about a player only just retired at the age of 40.
Another one there in Franco Baresi.
Yeah.
What a player.
Tough defender, to say the very least. It's one of those fixtures that draws out the superstars of yesterday. And you, not that far yesterday in the case of Totti, is it? Did well to keep it in play. Support from his great mate, Alexander Kolarov. The two of them were great friends at the end.
Fair few goals for City. I think in a Roma shirt he's been absolutely fantastic.
29 goals in all competitions last season, and he's already banged in 6 in Serie A and 1 in the UEFA Champions League. Where you look in this Roma 11, players who were playing their football elsewhere until the summer. The likes, of course, of Rodriguez and Çalhanoğlu in the Bundesliga. Bonucci, of course, at Juventus. Kessié on loan from Atalanta. Kalinic on loan from Fiorentina. Biglia, who came from Lazio. There's hardly a player in this starting 11 who is not fairly new to this AC Milan side, and maybe that he'll be given that time, that word patience. Maybe you need some patience when you're putting together this brand of football with a new set of players.
Yeah, it's certainly going to take a little bit of time. That's a feature of AC Milan's play. Rodriguez down the left-hand side and Fabio Borini down the right side.
It's a great ball, meanwhile, and exceptionally well done by Donnarumma
Superstar goalkeeper, isn't he? Only 18 years of age. What a future he's got. Well, that's where the chess match will happen in wider areas for AC Milan. Can Rodriguez and Borini push the likes of Bruno Perez and Kolarov back the way?
Sharawi, of course, who made his name here at AC Milan. Before injury, rather, held his career back, and he lost his way a little bit, to say the very least, and has now found a home at Roma after a spell at Monaco that didn't quite work out for him. When he left AC Milan in January of 2016 and had one unbelievable season back in 2012-13.
There's a good balance about the Roma midfield, though. I love the way De Rossi just sits still but allows Nangolan and Strootman to get forward.
Led by Bonucci. Midfield trio is exceptional for Roma. Good to see Florenzi back as well. A lengthy knee problem kept him out for the best part of a year. But he is an exceptional talent. Can play anywhere down that right-hand side. He's played right back, right wing, right midfield, right wing back. Finding his way back again after a really bad knee injury. Here's Borini, another new recruit from Sunderland, of course.
I always feel a little bit for Fabio Borini. He never plays through the middle, does he? You know, he's a striker by trade, and he often plays down the left-hand side, playing over on the right this afternoon. Doesn't get far too many chances, in my opinion, playing as the 9. Works incredibly hard as always.
To try and oust Andre Silva and Nikola Kalinic, that won't be easy.
No. And that's why you look at Bruni's numbers, they're always down. There's a lot of work in wider areas.
There's Kolarov. Really say that either of these sides have taken command of this game.
Oh, I think it'll take a good 15-20 minutes for this game to settle down.
Last season, Roma won home and away in this fixture. 1-0 in Rome, 4-1 here at the San Siro. And they had the game's first corner, won by Nangolan.
Oh, he's a top player, Radja Nangolan. Depends what you like in a midfield player. I love watching Luka Modric at Real Madrid, very silky, but if you want a guy that can absolutely do anything on a football pitch in terms of playing as a 4, a 6, an 8 or a 10, Nangolan's the go-to man.
Queue of players waiting for the delivery. Fazio up from the back, and then Dzeko in that posse of players who are still there. Manolas has made the break forward as well. Going to have another opportunity to do it.
What was a strange one, I always think, when you take a short corner when you've got that much height in the box. You know, Edin Dzeko is at least 6'2", 6'3", the 2 centre-halves, so even bigger at 6'4". Try and whip a delivery into that 6-yard box if you can, and trouble the back line and Donnarumma.
Kessié and De Rossi embroiled in conversation, and then they still have a good push and shove of each other. Are they going to get a cross in? No, they're not. What an absolute waste that was. Two corners and not a ball in the box.
It's ridiculous, because a moving ball is a harder ball to hit than a dead ball, so just put the corner in the box.
And Manolas scored from a set piece. It's an offside flag, by the way, but Manolas scored from a set piece on Wednesday at Karabag.
I totally understand the concept of taking a short corner. You're trying to drag a couple of players out of their positions. But I think especially early on, just put it inside that 6-yard box.
Playing an attacking trio today. Roma. Kalinic trying to get the better of Manolas, but he's a strong boy himself.
Should be a good battle, that. Kalinic and Manolas.
Bruno Perez, meanwhile, dispossessed by Andre Silva. Çalhanoğlu in support. Rodriguez is there as well. Here's Biglia. Romagnoli involved. Biglia once again. And that's going to drift out disappointingly.
Yeah, Kalinic was the target. Good defending from Manolas, good strength. And Kalinic just fobs him off.
Did well, Andre Silva initially. Won the ball back and had the dexterity to get away from his marker.
He's been a great sign, hasn't he, Bonucci? What centre-half, what a steal as well from Juve.
He was very, very strongly linked with Manchester City. It seemed as though that was going to be his destination, but he's decided to stay in northern Italy. Not too big a trip between Turin and Milan. If you've ever travelled to northwest Italy, wherever he goes, Bonucci is a terrific acquisition, and he's got the captain's armband as well here.
That's what I like about Bonucci as well. He apologises for the pass to Kalinic, but he doesn't mind playing a forward pass. He's not a centre-half that just keeps his possession stats up and gets tight. He's a very good man marker, but he is willing to take a chance or two with his forward passes.
Going into Kessié. Big, strong, protective midfield player. Savio Di Francesco, who had a really good few years in charge of Sassuolo. This is definitely the biggest job of his career. And, as a consequence, he too will be under some sort of scrutiny. Started the season pretty well, but blip so far. It's quite a significant blip. And they were beaten at home by Inter in their first home game of the Serie A campaign.
Yeah, they must get a move on Roma. Can't allow the gap to develop between themselves and Napoli. 9 points at the moment. They are in good form, won the last 3. The Serie A is going to be strong this season.
Milan's ownership was a huge issue for the last couple of years, really. It was finally concluded back in April. Chinese ownership. And the target was simple: I'll back it, provided you get me UEFA Champions League football at the very least, and hopefully a tilt at the title. There's rumoured to be a clause in Montella's contract that if Champions League football is not achieved, bye-bye.
Yeah, harsh, isn't it? Yeah, but like the Milan fans, they're asking for a penalty on De Rossi. It wasn't. He had his hands behind his back.
Rossi and Bonucci have played together in the Italian squad for many, many years, and they've been embarking on many a conversation, although opposite sides. Rossi, the man who's been upended, and it leads to the free kick for Roma. Just nudged out of it by Kalinic.
Yeah, a little block off, wasn't it? Good spot from the referee.
It's been everything that we would hope for so far. Two sides positive, confident, taking the game to the other as best they can, but showing enormous respect at the same time.
And See the two Milan centre forwards just backing off, allowing Fazio and Manolas the ball at their feet.
Awkward ball to judge from the defender, and he's happy, Manolas, that the flag has gone up and Kalinic has been penalised.
He shouldn't be offside there. Kalinic is looking right across the line, just a little bit lazy coming back in. Good spot from the linesman.
Well, let's hope that it's a game without controversy. Fixtures like this are so often settled, or at least pivotal moments seem to be hinging on a controversial call. It's a dreadful error from Donnarumma, and Strootman almost turned it in imaginatively. His mind made up for him by Donnarumma's poor clearance.
Yeah, with his technique, listen, it's not an easy chance. Well, Kevin Strootman took it on. It was poor from Donnarumma. It's not like him.
Touches it with his shoe, doesn't he? Rather than the foot. It seems bizarre to be talking about a goalkeeper of just 18 years old when you think that he's now into his second season as first choice goalkeeper for AC Milan, and he's even challenging Gianluigi Buffon, albeit Buffon will decide when it's time to hang up the gloves for the Italian national team. But you do get the sense that Donnarumma is set for arguably perhaps even a career that will rival that of Buffon. And that's saying something.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before he takes the #1 spot, Donnarumma, isn't it? For his national side.
Intriguingly, the AC Milan have even signed his older brother Antonio Donnarumma. He's the backup goalkeeper, or one of the backup goalkeepers at the San Siro. So 9 years his senior, and by no means having had the career that Gianluigi has already enjoyed in 18 months or so at the very top. Played all 38 games in Serie A last season, Gianluigi Donnarumma. And there's hardly a transfer window goes by when he's not linked with one of the giants of the top divisions of Europe. So far, neither goalkeeper has been tested here, though. Here's Rodriguez, who worked it onto his less strong right foot and couldn't get enough purchase on the cross. And then put some good pressure on Bruno Perez. He did manage to scoop it away, cleared by Bonucci for the throw.
Yeah, it's been a positive start from both sides. As we said, chess match, just feeling each other out. Roma, there's not a lot of pressure on Roma at the moment, being the away side. They're just trying to keep hold of the ball and they'll grow into the game.
Nice from Kolarov. It's a good ball as well. The angle's perfect to hit it first time. And Florenzi did exactly that, but he just couldn't quite connect. Super play from Kolarov.
Yeah, Florenzi was looking for the same technique as the pass from Kolarov, because it was with the outside of the foot from Kolarov. Super delivery. It's a hard one to try and take on when it's coming over your shoulder, but Florenzi will think he should have at least hit the target with a bit more power.
It's a nice little drag back by Kolarov to work the opening for the pass, and then that left boot of his is always his preferred choice for a pass, and he swung it over with the outside. That's unfortunate, trying to put Dzeko through the middle from Nainggolan.
It was a lovely little 1-2 as well. Nainggolan then trying to play Edin Dzeko in. Slightly overhit.
It's given away tamely, straight to Edin Dzeko. He works the angle for the shot, and it goes out for the corner. A mistake by Musacchio.
They're just causing themselves one or two problems, Milan, just playing out from the back.
Dzeko shot taking an early deflection. And they play with the three centre-backs. AC Milan, Musacchio, Bonucci and Romagnoli. And the intention is for them to play football right from the outset, rather than go long.
And that means a lot of work in wider areas. The likes of Rodriguez and Borini. He could go up and down, couldn't he?
Well, Cafu would suit that formation, wouldn't he? He could play right wing back in that system. Makes you feel even more sorry for Fabio Borini, because that's where he's being asked to play today as the right wing back. He's a left-footed player ostensibly, and a striker down the middle is his preferred position, but there he is at right wing back today. Meanwhile, by Strootman.
Yeah, just a tad late there, Kevin Strootman. It was a foul on Borini.
Easy to ask a player who's ostensibly a striker and with an eye for goal, not just to be in support of other strikers, but to actually play a right wing-back role. A gamble, really. But I suppose you'd rather be in the starting 11 than not, from a player's perspective.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you've got to ignore the stats when you look at some players, because they are team players, and Fabio Borini is certainly one of those. And as we said, he's a striker playing out on the right-hand side. Does a lot of work in wider areas. Very unselfish player.
Silva closing down the space for Kolarov.
The switcher plays on for Roma. They've got to work it a little bit quicker.
Milan effectively playing a five-man midfield, and I do feel that the areas out wide will be the key. That's a really poor ball, which Kolarov's not going to get anywhere near.
Well, fullbacks are key for Roma. You know, Bruno Perez and Kolarov should have so much space.
Here's Kessié. Borini. Musacchio. Romagnoli. Now Biglia. Bonucci invited forward. It's not a bad ball, good angle on it. Manolas glances it towards going out for a corner, but to his credit, Bruno Perez prevented it.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned really Roma's number one, Alisson, have we, in goal? Hardly had a thing to do.
No. Just an observer thus far. We might have to do something there. Good effort from Kessié.
Yeah, once it sits up on the volley, you always think it's worth taking that shot on. And Kessié, not a bad effort. It's a little bit scrappy how it falls to him. Has one fresh air shot on his left side, then takes it on with his right.
He's ostensibly a protective midfielder, Franck Kessié. But, he did score 6 goals for Atalanta last season. And he became hot property in Serie A. Atalanta had an excellent campaign that qualified them for the UEFA Europa League. And of course, as often happens in Italy, when a surprise team, and I'll call them that, does well, so often their best players are picked off by the big boys. And hence Atalanta are not quite as positive this season as they were last. Currently locked in mid-table and facing Juventus tonight.
Not sure what the referees give there, actually.
Well, I was puzzled as well. I mean, I assumed the ball hadn't come out of the box, but it had.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Didn't see a signal from the assistant either. Well, the communication is what's caused the problem there. And Strootman, I think it is, takes a walloping from Fazio.
Yeah, there is. It's just a lack of communication. And Fazio should be in charge there. He should be barking instructions to Kevin Strootman. Nothing worse for a central midfield player when you're not sure what's behind you, and then one of your players just arrive in your peripheral vision.
Looked like a hefty old whack that for Strootman.
He's a big boy, Fazio, as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Totti would have appreciated that. There's so much talent in that central midfield area. Strootman, one of many gifted Belgian players plying their trade.
It's got to the point now at 26 minutes in where the game will slightly open up a little bit more, a little bit cagey in the first 20 minutes.
Everyone who watches games like this knows of the significance of the opening goal, and no one wants to be responsible for the error that leads to it. Here's Borini. Now Biglia. Look at the shape that Roma are in. Very difficult to find space and gap with such a solid looking shape. Fazio gets it away. Here's El Shaarawy. Well stopped though by Musacchio. Nice play by Borini. Musacchio once more. Borini helping him out. Here's Biglia. Shaarawy couldn't win it back. Space now for Borini. It's not a bad clip ball in, and it was well dealt with by Fazio.
A brilliant ball in from Fabio Borini. Just worked a little bit of space, Milan there. Good cross in the box, well defended.
He's overhit that pass, however. Let's point you in the direction of some more action you can enjoy with us on BT Sport. As we see Strootman there, looks as though he's struggling. Atalanta against Juventus, I've alluded to. Juventus looking to maintain their 100% record. 1 HD from 7:30 there at Atalanta. Also on tonight, Nice against Marseille from 7:45 on 2 HD. And when we return after the international break, look at that for a fixture. Roma's next duel is with the 100% leaders Napoli. Saturday the 14th of October, 7:30 on 3 HD. And the following day, well, take your pick. Inter against AC. A couple of huge games in a couple of weeks' time. Saturday the 15th of October and Sunday the 14th. Roma against Napoli, Inter against AC Milan. The best games from across Europe as ever on BT Sport.
I went to the San Siro 10-15 years ago just as a fan, and I watched AC Milan Inter Champions League semi-final. What an atmosphere and a great game.
A bit of a deflection on that cross, and it'll be a corner to Roma. And there's no such thing as a dull Milan derby.
And as you said, Napoli-Roma, that's a fixture as well. I think Napoli are going to go very close this season.
The only defeat this season was away at Shakhtar Donetsk. That was the signal from Strootman that he can take no further part today. That's a big blow, you know. Huge part of that trio of midfielders. On in his stead will be Lorenzo Pellegrini, who a lot less experienced. Another new signing inevitably, this time for Roma. He joined from Sassuolo, Eusebio Di Francesco's former club. Strootman making way, and the signal came from the player himself.
Yeah, he must have took a bad collision with Fazio, didn't he? Must have been on the side of the neck, shoulder. He certainly shook him up.
A quarter of an hour to the interval, still 0-0. No real clear-cut chances so far. Here's Nainggolan, maybe he can fashion one here. Florenzi up towards Dzeko, but well dealt with by Borini.
It's an even game so far. I don't think anyone's dominated the game so far. Montella will be looking for a little bit more from the home side.
Both sides have found the net in the last 4 meetings at the San Siro. There's usually a promise of goals when these two lock horns, but no clear-cut opening so far. Foul by Biglia and Florenzi.
Yeah, the thing is as well, when you look at all the attacking players on show, there's some fantastic defenders out there. Manolas and Fazio and Romagnoli and Bonucci. Musacchio in that three, they're very hard. great chances against this Milan side. And Roma have always got that screen at De Rossi, just helping Manolas and Fazio.
De Rossi will deliver the free kick. It will not clear Biglia. Kolarov. It's going to go all the way back to Alisson. Hasn't touched the ball with his gloves, I don't think, so far.
Got to keep working it wide, Roma. As I said before, fullbacks are the outlet.
Dzeko helps it on its way towards he hoped Pellegrini would get to the ball. By Nainggolan.
I actually thought it was a good tackle in real time. Well, Pellegrini got a little bit of the ball. I was wrong. Good decision from the referee. What a piece of Barini's ankle.
Here's Rodriguez. Took it down well, followed by Florenzi. Tried to get the shot away, but the more it was trying to work to his right side by Çalhanoğlu, the more he felt he wasn't going to get anything telling on the shot.
Yeah, he should have took the shot on just there. Once it goes past 2 or 3 players, there's always bodies putting themselves on the line for Roma, and he's working a harder angle.
A couple of years back, Hakan Çalhanoğlu seemed to be unstoppable. Just an imaginative, creative midfielder at Bayer Leverkusen's side, who were regulars in the UEFA Champions League, but he's just lost his way a little bit, as indeed did Bayer Leverkusen. He needed a new challenge, I think. And just on cue, he becomes the first player booked this afternoon.
Yeah, I think rightly so from the referee. I'm not a massive believer that every foul has to be a card, but you're coming in from behind, quite aggressive. It's always equal in a card.
He's a lovely player, Çalhanoğlu, when he's on form, but sometimes he just goes missing, doesn't he, in a game, and you forget he's out there. People question his work rate sometimes, but if he's ticking, he can change a match.
Yeah, in my notes I've got him down as a drifter. I think he's one of them. I think he drifts in and out of games. When he's on it and you get him on the ball, a fantastic player.
No shortage of spectacular goals during his time at Bayer Leverkusen. Free kick for the foul by Çalhanoğlu. It's a little bit too far for a direct hit from Kolarov, and indeed he picks out Dzeko. Was he trying to scoop it back for someone in the middle? I think he probably was.
Yeah. I think he was trying to be unselfish there, Dzeko. I wonder if he fancied taking it on the volley. It was from an acute angle.
So few times in this match have any players got goal side of their markers, especially in the final third. It was as close as we got in some ways when Dzeko got round the back from Kolarov's free kick. And he just didn't fancy having a go himself, and bearing in mind the goal-scoring form he's in. Bow to the fact that he felt it was too tricky a skill. Now Dzeko's helped that on its way, and here it is with El Shaarawy, and Dzeko looking for it.
The only thing missing from Dzeko's game is just that turn of pace. Rodriguez done really well spotting the danger.
Tucked in from the wide wing-back position, Rodriguez, to make the challenge. Just because you're a wing-back doesn't mean to say you can ignore your defensive duties. Rodriguez did that well.
Yeah, the wing-back role, your duties are to try and get from box to box. And anything deeper than that, you normally tend to leave to your defenders, because it's a lot of ground to try and cover. Got to be extremely fit to play that role.
Played it quite often at Wolfsburg, didn't he, Rodriguez? Excellent player on set pieces, and it's a mistake meanwhile by Of all people, Bonucci just dwelt on it too long, but gone away with it there. Overplaying, I think.
Yeah, just took too many touches. Then he was hoping for an option there, Bonucci, and the ball got trapped between his feet. He was very lucky.
Here's Kolarov. Touch from El Shaarawy, which he chases himself. That's a clearance by Musacchio. It's not going to be kept in by Borini. Vincenzo Montella, only 43. He was a gifted player.
Still got it.
Yep. Spent the thick end of his career at Roma, of course. And he's actually on their list of goal scorers, 5th in the all-time list of goals scored for Roma. Vincenzo Montella. The two managers are indeed teammates during a pretty successful era at the club. Indeed, the last time that they won Serie A under Fabio Capello back in 2001. Might drop for Kessié. Oh, you can see what he was trying to do, just tried to touch it into the path of Andre Silva. He was unlucky there, Kessié, although there was the option of hitting it, I guess. And he tried to just change the angle on the pass.
Yeah, it was a harder pass. I don't think he fancied taking the shot on his weaker left side. De Rossi and Nangolan just getting a little bit frustrated. Roma can't keep hold of the ball at the moment.
He's cutting in field. Great ball, is it? Easy for Kolarov. El Shaarawy, now Edin Dzeko.
Yeah, Barini's out of position.
Pass was well intended, if not well executed, towards El Shaarawy.
Another player that's just been off his game so far, Edin Dzeko. He's not picking the correct passes.
There's a good ball in from Rodriguez, and Alisson in a bit of a tangle. Back in by Borini, and then wild by Biglia.
Well, Milan and Andre Silva asking for a penalty. I couldn't see it in real time. Again, lack of communication between goalkeeper and centre half. You just see as it comes along the floor, there's a little bit of a clearance. No, I think it was an accident. It was Fazio on De Rossi. As De Rossi went to ground, it just hit his hand. Just there, total accident.
He's going to give that. On by Nangolan. Easily dealt with by Musacchio. You do wonder sometimes about whether it's an excuse or not, but it must be a factor, I guess, the fact that Roma on Wednesday night were in Azerbaijan until pretty much midnight Azerbaijan time. One of the longer trips that you face in the UEFA Champions League. 4,000-mile round trip, and then you get back to Rome, and within a short space of time you're then setting off to Milan. I wonder if it may have taken a little bit of the edge off people like Dzeko. Here's Rodriguez trying to exploit any weaknesses within the Roma lineup.
I wonder if it sort of evens itself out, because obviously Milan played then on Thursday, didn't they?
They did, but they were at home, which, you know, it does have like a significant difference. Didn't make too many changes, in fairness. He could have done. Vincenzo Montella to the side that won on Thursday night, albeit with a late goal.
Yeah, very late. I think it was the 94th minute.
Yeah. Expected to beat Rijeka much more simply than they did.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Milan were 2-0 up as well and absolutely cruising in and around the sort of 85th minute mark.
Yep. Again with a wild swing. Yeah, they were cruising to victory against opposition that they would have anticipated doing exactly that against, and suddenly found themselves chasing a winning goal in stoppage time, and that's the relief that they got it. To be fair, they've played 6-1-6 in the UEFA Europa League. They had to go through qualifying to get themselves into the group, 1-4. And then have won the 2 games that they've played in the group stage as well. And you have to say, handsomely in the first one, away at Austria Vienna by 5-1, when Andre Silva grabbed himself a hat-trick, and then a late winning goal by Cutrone, giving them victory against Rijeka on Thursday. Here's El Shaarawy though. So I beg his pardon, it's Pellegrini.
It's the best chance of the game. It was good work, lovely skill, little 1-2 there. Pellegrini's in the box on his left side again. He doesn't hit it clean. It's not a bad effort, just no power in the shot. He's not troubling Donnarumma from there. Good work from the substitute.
There's Donnarumma. Again, neither goalkeeper has been stretched.
It was just about the first time that Nainggolan got a ball higher up the pitch for Roma. And he is one of my favourites in Europe, Nainggolan. I think he can play it in any position in the midfield. And certainly when he's higher up, he's so creative. Got an eye for a pass, an eye for a spectacular goal as well.
He's the heartbeat, isn't it, of that Roma midfield. He's one of those players who makes those late runs and suddenly finds himself in a goal-scoring position.
Yeah, last year he was playing sometimes as a 10 as well, just off Edin Dzeko.
Oh, that's excellent play from Kalinic. Forced to check. It's an optimistic claim of a handball, which is just never coming. And there is Nainggolan. Tried to thread it through, I think, for Edin Dzeko, but it breaks for El Shaarawy. To be fair, AC Milan have regrouped very, very swiftly. Rossi trying to angle it forward, away by Bonucci. Here's Kessié.
They're a strong unit back there, Milan, with their 3 centre-halves, and Rodriguez and Borini tucking in to make a 5. There's not many gaps.
Again, it was optimistic from Çalhanoğlu. There's the likes of Ricardo Montolivo and Suso on the bench, who have both seen lots of game time this season. Young striker Patrick Cutrone as well, who I mentioned scored the late winner against Rijeka.
I think Di Francesco will be the happier of the 2 managers going into half-time. Vincenzo Montella will need a little bit more in the second half from his players, a little bit more creativity. Defended well.
Bonucci guiding it forward. Çalhanoğlu. Now Rodriguez. Faced by Bruno Perez. He hasn't isolated him much at all today. Here's Biglia. Romagnoli. Çalhanoğlu. Biglia. Bonucci. Musacchio. 2 minutes of added time, we're just entering. Here's Andre Silva. Thought about hitting it. Now Borini. On towards Andre Silva, but cleared well by Pellegrini for the corner.
He was always desperate, Fabio Borini, just to get the ball back on his strong right foot, trying to get to that byline, trying to pick a pass. Milan have looked dangerous when they've been down the left-hand side, but Rodriguez hasn't put too many crosses in. Borini's put 1 or 2 in.
In a game where there has rarely been a genuine opening, can Milan take one just before half-time. They can't because Edin Dzeko gets it away.
Good header from Dzeko, being that front screen. That was his job. Not marking anyone, but he is the guy at the front post if any corners are coming in flat.
Sakio, Kessié. Well, Biglia. By Romagnoli. And then by Kessié. To be.
Yeah, it's worth taking the shot on, even though it was a blind shot from Kessié. There's so many Roma bodies back there, and there was Milan bodies that were in and around him as well, and once it falls to, it was good build-up play. And it falls to Kessié on that right side, getting blocked a couple of shots, and all of a sudden it's really narrow. You're not sure where your bearing's on. You just take a swipe at that, hoping it'll find one of the top corners.
Just before that corner was taken, we got a quick glimpse of Andrea Conti, one of the injured players for Milan, but like us, he's watched what has been two heavyweights cancelling each other out so far. No real clear-cut openings particularly. And at half-time at the San Siro, it's AC Milan 0, it's Roma 0. We'll be analysing the first half when you join us after the break.
This programme is sponsored by Bet3.